Before discussing Stroud, it's necessary to consider a variable that rarely makes headlines but determines the ceiling of any offensive unit: functional time within the pocket. In 2024, that time was systematically compromised for the Houston Texans, and the impact of this instability was reflected in rushed reads, interrupted plays, and drives collapsing before they even had a chance to develop. At the center of this issue was the left side of the line, where Kenyon Green, despite some minor adjustments, displayed technical failures that repeated with concerning frequency. The arrival of Tomlinson represents more than just a new piece. It's a direct attempt to stabilize the structural platform that supports every decision Stroud makes on the field. What's at stake is not just protection, but the offense's ability to operate with rhythm, depth, and execution. And to understand what this means in practice, one must return to the foundation. How the trenches, more than any quarterback narrative, define the course of the Texans' season. In the modern NFL, the narrative surrounding quarterbacks often overshadows a fundamental truth of American football. Games are won and lost in the trenches. For the Houston Texans, this reality manifested itself painfully during the 2024 season, when the promise of C.J. Stroud was partially overshadowed by an inconsistent and unstable offensive line under pressure. When the dust settled on the Texans' 2024 season, an uncomfortable truth emerged from the statistics and game tapes. C.J. Stroud, the highly promising quarterback, had suffered under the weight of 52 sacks, a significant increase from the 38 of the previous season. This number represented not only physical pain, but also symbolized missed opportunities, interrupted drives, and more concerning, the stalled development of a young star. The root of this problem was deeply embedded exactly where every quarterback needs the most stability: the offensive line. The experiment with Kenyon Green in the left guard position had proven insufficient to protect the franchise's most valuable investment. In 12 games, 9 as a starter, Green allowed constant pressure that forced Stroud to rush his reads and abandon the pocket prematurely. His 5 penalties, although representing an improvement over the previous season, still demonstrated technical limitations that compromised offensive fluidity. In American football, interior pressure is the most devastating for any quarterback. When it comes from the edges, the QB can at least escape forward. But when the collapse comes from the middle, especially from the left, it steals processing time and contaminates the entire throwing mechanics. It is in this scenario that Tomlinson emerges not just as a replacement, but as a transformative piece. Established as an elite blocker during his time with the 49ers, Tomlinson brings precisely what the Texans lacked: a rare combination of functional strength, technical intelligence, and perhaps most importantly, unwavering consistency. A detailed analysis of Tomlinson's game tapes reveals a player whose hand placement technique is meticulously refined. Unlike Green, who often left his outside hands vulnerable against defenders with explosive moves, Tomlinson maintains a compact and balanced blocking structure. His initial contact is rarely wasted. His hands hit the target with great precision between the defender's numbers, establishing immediate control. Unlike Green, whose trajectory with the Texans was marked by flashes of potential interspersed with evident technical issues, Tomlinson presents a profile of consistency. While Green demonstrated persistent problems against speed rush techniques, Tomlinson exhibits technical maturity in dealing with athletic defenders. This technical advantage translates directly into superior protection. In pass protection situations, Tomlinson demonstrated in 2024 a success rate of 92% in effective blocks during first downs, precisely when defensive coordinators most frequently attempt to surprise with interior blitzes. This solidity would allow Stroud to establish the rhythm of the game from the very first plays, something he rarely managed to do under the previous instability. What sets Tomlinson apart from nearly any other guard in the league is his ability to process defensive information in real time. He doesn't just identify blitzes, he communicates adjustments to the entire line, turning potential disasters into opportunities. To fully understand the potential impact of Tomlinson on Stroud, we need to examine how both can function as a symbiotic system. In 2024, even under constant pressure, Stroud maintained remarkable pocket awareness, completing 64.6% of his passes at home despite the limitations around him. His processing speed, the ability to quickly read coverages, remained one of his greatest strengths even as time in the pocket became dangerously reduced. The fundamental problem was the inconsistency of protection, especially on long third downs, where Green was often outmatched by more technical defenders. Stroud's rating in these critical situations plummeted to 59.2, particularly in games like against Baltimore, where he suffered 5 sacks and was forced to make premature decisions. Tomlinson offers a direct solution to this complex equation. His exceptional ability in zone blocking aligns perfectly with the philosophy of Nick Caley, the new coordinator. When we evaluate his performance against elite defenders, we observe that Tomlinson maintains pocket integrity even under prolonged pressure, precisely what Stroud needs most to explore his layered passing ability, distributing the ball across different layers of the field. When a quarterback like Stroud knows he can take that second step in the read progression without worrying about the interior, the entire field opens up. We're not just talking about better statistics, but about accelerated development. Tomlinson's influence transcends pass protection. In the running game, an area where the Texans seek to improve under Caley's new coordination, his blocking abilities become even more evident. In 2024, Tomlinson consistently created gaps in inside zone blocking schemes, allowing 4.3 yards per rush on plays directed toward his side. His lateral mobility, surprising for a man of his size, makes him equally effective in outside zone runs, precisely the kind of versatility that Caley valued during his time with the Patriots and Rams. The refined timing of Tomlinson and double-team blocking combinations will create windows of opportunity for running back Joe Mixon to accelerate through interior gaps. This dynamic is crucial for the balance that Caley seeks to implement, complementing Stroud's exceptional play-action ability. This efficiency in the running game has a multiplier effect on Stroud's performance. In 2024, with play action, the young quarterback raised his rating to 102.6 with an impressive 8.03 yards per attempt. The problem? The inconsistent running game made the play action less convincing, allowing defenses to ignore the threat of the run. Tomlinson fundamentally alters this dynamic. His ability to flawlessly execute double-team blocking combinations before moving to the second level creates exactly the kind of rushing threat that legitimizes play action. When defenses are forced to respect the run, passing windows expand dramatically, precisely the scenario where Stroud showed the most potential. The impact of Tomlinson, however, is not limited to quantifiable metrics. As a veteran with experience in winning systems, he brings a presence that extends across the entire offensive line. The 2024 season was marked by constant rotation along the Texans' offensive line, 5 different players coming in and out over the weeks, creating operational chaos that hurt both Stroud and the running game. We cannot ignore the fact that the lack of continuity was a critical issue for the Texans' offensive line in 2024. The constant rotation, 5 different players coming in and out, created operational chaos that no quarterback could completely overcome. Tomlinson brings positional stability, an intangible but fundamental element. An offensive line is not just 5 players, it is a single organism that depends on constant communication and mutual trust. When you insert a player like Tomlinson with his experience in hybrid schemes and his ability to diagnose defenses, the entire group elevates. One aspect often overlooked in the analysis of offensive lines is pre-snap communication. The best guards do not only execute their individual blocks, but also function as extensions of the center in identifying potential threats and making protection adjustments. This influence manifests in technical development. Young players like Juice Scruggs, who struggled in the transition from center to left guard, allowing 2 sacks and 6 pressures in just 161 snaps, could benefit greatly from the presence of a mentor of Tomlinson's caliber. His refined understanding of blocking angles and hand placement provides a tangible model for the entire line. The projection for 2025 suggests a significant transformation in the offensive dynamics of the Texans. Nick Caley's game philosophy, adaptable and centered on the strengths of the roster, finds in Tomlinson an ideal executor. While Caley will be able to establish a balance between the running game and the passing game, Tomlinson provides the technical platform to realize that vision. For Stroud, the benefits would be immediate and profound. With adequate time in the pocket, his anticipation throws passes that anticipate windows before they open could fully flourish. The reduction in sacks would not only preserve his physical health, but also allow for greater confidence in complex progressions, especially when his main targets like Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, and Justin Watson are available. The conservative projection indicates a potential reduction of 20 to 25% in sacks allowed and an increase of approximately 15% in average time available in the pocket. These numbers, though seemingly modest, would have an exponential impact on offensive efficiency, particularly in critical third down situations where Stroud's performance was most compromised in 2024. For the Houston Texans, the acquisition of Tomlinson represents more than just a simple incremental improvement. It is a strategic bet. While Kenyon Green showed flashes of potential, his technical inconsistency and physical fragility, having missed significant time due to injuries, made him a risky variable in the equation for success. Tomlinson, in contrast, offers certainty. His exemplary durability, participating in 98% of offensive snaps throughout the season, combined with his technical mastery and ability to adapt to different schemes, provides exactly the kind of solid foundation that Stroud needs to reach the next level of his development. In the current NFL environment, you have approximately 3 years to determine whether your franchise quarterback can reach elite status. Failing to adequately protect him during this critical period is not just wasting talent, it is compromising the future of the franchise. Tomlinson is not just an upgrade over Kenyon Green, he is the piece that can unlock the entire potential of the Texans' offense, transforming a promising unit into a legitimate force in the AFC. For Stroud, this could mean the difference between being just another talented quarterback and becoming truly elite. The wall that Tomlinson promises to build at the heart of the Texans' offensive line is not just a technical piece, but a structural solution to the problems that limited C.J. Stroud's potential in 2024. His presence brings stability where there was once chaos and consistency where confidence was lacking. The numbers project a significant reduction in sacks allowed and an increase in clean pocket time, something essential for Stroud to explore his arsenal of intermediate passes and deep balls. In the running game, Tomlinson's mobility and refined technique in zone blocking create clear opportunities for Joe Mixon to boost his production, making play action an even more lethal weapon. Furthermore, his leadership and pre-snap communication elevate the entire group, strengthening the synergy between young and experienced linemen. For Texans fans, this acquisition represents more than just a simple swap of pieces. It is the first step toward a solid infrastructure capable of sustaining the franchise's ambitions in the AFC. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to follow all updates on the Texans' evolution. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.